So hello everybody, I'm back again, and again I'm with a couple students, and we're going to talk about the Jupiter Interactive car production game that we're all playing. And I did go in, and I hope everybody's on the team. I went through that the other day, and again, the purpose of this is to get the most points, and you're competing against all the other teams in your class. Okay. So I hope everyone is clear about that. And I'm going to click on and go in there and here now. All right, so you see what it says for everyone, right? Round 1 in progress. Okay, everyone should see that under round status in red. It says, okay. So with round 1 in progress, when you enter all the information and have done the best you can on game 1 and all the succeeding games, you have to click the submit button, and it'll say under round status, round 1 submitted. Okay? Now, here's something that's very important. Please make sure you submit all your rounds before July 8th, because if I have to push anybody forward, then we're going to have problems. So, I suggest you at least try to get, even though I give you to the end of the semester, try to get at least one done a week if you can, okay, so I can push everybody forward. All right? That would really make life easy, because if you try to get them all done at the end, you're going to have a problem. Okay, so here's all the teams. Everyone can see all the team names, right? And as I said, if I have to force people forward, you will lose points. So please try to get them done, even though, don't stack them. Try to do 6 the last week, okay? And as I told the students here, the first game is usually a disaster because people don't really know what they're doing, and that's okay. So even if you really screw up the first game, you build on that and then continue on to games 2 through 6. As I said, the purpose here is to get the most points or get the best stock price, and enter the data for your round. I will try to finish up chapter 3 so you can see all the ratios, okay? And you have to determine how much advertising you want to do. You have to determine what kind of cars you're going to make, how many of each. Are you going to issue debt in the form of bonds to borrow money? Are you going to issue stock? It's all up to you to do that. And that's some of the things you have to do. Anybody have any questions here? Everybody's good, right? Okay. So I want to go back to view classes, and I'm going to go into last semester's class again, and you'll notice that after the 6 games, does everyone see what it says here? After you enter the 6th game, it's going to say simulation completed. Okay? That means you hit submit 6 times, and you're all done. Okay? And as I said, try to space them out, so I can at least push people forward as quickly as possible. All right? So these were the teams from the last game. And I'm going to go into... so here's some of the team names that were on this team. You can see the team names. And I'm going to go back, and I'm going to click around a little. And I'm going to click on View Results. Now, why didn't I see this the other day when I did this? The other day, I did show you the graphs, and I don't know why I can't show you the graphs now. All right, we're going to try to figure out what's going on here. Just bear with me for a minute, and let's find out. Why I can't get in there, as I showed you the other day. Well, we're having a little problem here tonight. And I'm going to have to reboot for a minute. So I know the other night I went in and I showed you the curves. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I don't know why I wasn't able to do that, but again, okay, here was 3/30 spring 2017 for year 6, okay, and you can see their score, okay, for the 6th year, and as I said, they won that, but I'm not necessarily going to give all the points to whoever got the most total points. So as I'm going to scroll down, and you'll notice that ACAM Motors won because they got the most points, but it was very close. So I don't just make them the winner, okay? As I said, basically Future Tech did best on return on equity. Return on equity means that for every dollar of stock money that the stock payers paid the company, they got the biggest return. So if you paid you paid the stock, you bought the stock for every dollar in stock, you got 39 cents return on your stock. Okay? So that's return on equity. Equity is stock. All right? Everybody good? Good. Okay. Now, again, stock price, this is, Future Tech did the best in making the stock price go up. So basically, they ran the company very well, and they did have the highest return on equity, and you'll notice the stock price zoomed compared to the other company. So the stockholders would be able to sell the stock at a gain compared to what it was in the beginning. So they'll get some points for that. Okay, so there's a lot of ratios you're going to have to fill in. And I went through some of those on Chapter 3, and I'll go through some more. So here's earnings per share. What this is basically the earnings. This is 37, I believe, cents per share, right? So for every share, this is the very, very bottom of the income statement. And I showed you an income statement. And this basically is where they get the dividends from to pay the stockholders. So this company, Future Tech, again, did the best. So it's 37 cents per share of earnings, okay? So remember, on the very top is the sales, and then when we get to the very bottom, after we pay all the bills and everything, right, we have what's left in the earnings per share, and that we take out of that and pay dividends if we want to pay them to the shareholders. Sometimes you don't want to pay dividends. Companies like Google, right, they keep the dividend and build the company, right, for R&D. Okay. So not every company wants to pay dividends, okay? So you don't have to do that, right? So, when you fill in these forms, you make decisions. Also, how much debt you want to issue, bonds, right? So if you debt is borrowing money, okay? And here's the difference now between debt, bonds, and stock. If you're running your company and you don't want no one to tell you what to do, you issue debt, bonds. You borrow the money and you pay them basically interest on the debt, but they have no say in your company. It's like loaning someone loans you money to run a company, okay? They loan you money, okay, and you say, I'll give you back 5% a year, but you can't run my company. I'm just going to give you interest, and you just stay away. Now, stock, you may or may not pay a dividend, but stock are the actual shareholders. So if you made somebody a partner in your company, they would have say in how the company's run, okay? So stock, they get to vote, and they get say in the company. Everyone is clear? Yeah. Bonds, you just being lent the money, you give them some percentage in interest, and they just walk away. That's all they're happy with, getting that interest. All right? Shareholders have say in a company. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to issue bonds, or do you want to issue stock, and how much of each? Okay? How much dividends you want to pay on the stock, right? Mm-hmm. And you'll have to make these decisions in real life when you someday buy bonds and stocks, right? Most people buy stocks because they like getting dividends. So, all right. So the earnings per share. Now I want to make sure everyone's clear. The percentile rank please avoid this column. This is the competition with everyone else who's playing the game this summer. So you don't have to worry about percentile rank. There's only one column that matters for everybody, and that's called score. Okay? Score. So don't worry about percentile rank. Okay, return on assets means with all the money you spent to to build up the company with buildings and machinery and all kinds of assets, how much are you returning for every dollar of asset? So in this case, for every dollar in asset, Future Tech is returning 58 cents. So they're using their assets very efficiently, right? Notice Bond Motors here, it was close. They had 55 cents. So these companies are doing very efficiently, right? So if you run a company or you actually have a company and you buy assets, you want to try to get the most return on those assets, right? Which is the most sales, right? And so you're going to try to get the most money for the machinery or the equipment you buy, all right? So if you look down here, you'll notice these companies here, like Brain Network here is only 24 cents, right? So for every dollar in assets, they only generated 24 cents return. So they're starting to not be as good. You see, you always want big returns, right? You want big returns, right? Okay, and also you got to make decisions about how many cars you're going to build, what kind, how much gadgets you're going to put in there in the cars, right? They ask you how much R&D you want to put into it, right? If you don't pay a lot of dividends, you'll put the money that you normally would pay in dividends into R&D. So you got to pump money into the company. Am I going to advertise on the internet? They give you choices, right? If you saw that, newspaper advertising, direct mail. You saw all that, right? Good. Yeah. You saw all that. So you make those decisions. That's it. And the first game, as I said, is tough because you got to get a benchmark. All right. So you make decisions on where and how much you're going to advertise. All right. So. All right. So here's the sales revenue, and this is the sales revenue per share of stock. Sales revenue is just what it says. On the very top of the income statement, the first thing is sales, right? That's equivalent to when you get paid, right? Let's think about it in real life, right? I get paid every month, right? Once a month, and then that's the money coming in, right? That's sales or revenue, and then what do? I got to start subtracting things, and I'm paying what? Bills, right? So now I start, and at the very bottom is my earnings at the end of the month, whatever's left, right? So that's the typical thing here. So here's your sales, except they show it per share here. Okay, so total asset turnover, all right, is how much you're making, again, basically with the against your assets, and all these ratios are in the book, and you could look them up, and we'll look them up here and look at some of these. All right. All right. So I'm gonna stop this one and put this one up now. You guys have any questions about anything or?
I had a question about the points. Like, what's the max points you can get per round?
I don't know the max, but I think basically I think if you get my benchmark is 2,400 points. If you get around 2,400 points, right, I think you're doing well. So anybody who gets that or above, I pretty much consider that a tie. Okay. So
would that be for,
all six. After
year?
all six. No, all six. So here, look at the points. Look at the current round points. Look at the total, about 470, right?
Okay.
So after about 6 games, so look at the total points that they got. They keep track of them, right? So here, let's look at the total points. And you can see, right, this team almost got 3,000, right? This team got 27. So in a way, I kind of consider these first 4 teams, they got above 2,400. Or even the 5th team was only about 11 points short of 2,400.
Okay.
So, to me, those are that's a tie pretty much, okay?
So you feel like the one who got the most points is like the winner?
Basically, they're the big winner,
Yeah.
but not the only winner, because I do give some points for people who did the stock price well, all right? I break up the winnings a little bit, right?
Everybody will get, essentially full credit for doing all the
You
rounds.
get full credit for doing all the rounds, but the winners will get more points, And in each category, they'll give some points to people who won each category. Okay? But everyone gets full credit for doing it. You cannot screw up in this, okay? The game, the purpose of the game is to learn how to run a company. All right? So you will get credit because you attempted all 6 games. Don't get frustrated in the beginning because you did bad in the beginning. You'll build on that. All right? All right, so let's